crap, we got a video breakdown. Whoa. So we are 4 minutes away from this little thing. Little shindig. Jesus Christ. What is going on? No, dude. No. 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 Yes, I want to skip. Oh my God. This ain't nothing but a summer jam. Rap is crazy. Crazy. Let's check out something right quick. Oh man. All right, guys. In 2 minutes, we're gonna get started. I want to check this. Check out something that I've been doing for a while with beautiful music production software that I use here. But I'm gonna stick to the script today. I'm not gonna go too much far off the script because I want to talk about a piece of software that's near and dear to me. I love it a lot. Called sorry. Oh yeah, it's called Studio One. I'm a big fan. Pretty big fan of it. And yeah, I just want to weigh in on how I feel about this software here before I get down to anything nitty gritty. I'm not gonna be long online today. I'm not gonna stay long today. I just want to touch on some things right quick that that I feel like I want. This kind of this software here. I've been using it for a very long time. Yeah, so I'm gonna sip some coffee. I still got a minute. I'm gonna run down the clock. Run down the clock. I gotta get some faster bandwidth in this daggone room right here. routers at the other end of the whole house. Let's see here. Get my level. My levels. Get my levels up. I'm not Avicii, but I got levels. So guys, all right, here we go. Let's go ahead and get started here. Get rid of that. All right, everybody. My name is Eugene, and today I want to talk about a piece of software that's near and dear to me since 2010. I remember I was at the Frankfurt Music Messa, and a guy approached me. I'm not sure who the marketing guy or the head of marketing guy from Studio One was at that time, but yeah, we chatted for a little bit, and that was about 1 year after I came out with my single that took off pretty much all over Western Europe and some parts of Africa too. And yeah, that was a crazy ride. But before that, I was still a music enthusiast, and I was still, on the road, 200 shows plus every single year. And I definitely got into production. I remember back when I was a soldier, I was still in the barracks producing for my friends and stuff. And so yeah, uh, being in the military, a band at that time, it was a special duty assignment. I got stationed in Heidelberg at the time, and so we all went to the Music Messa, and I had a chance to tag along with the sound guys. And I remember it was me and Tim. We were walking through the Music Messa, and there was this guy. He's like, "Yo, check this out." And I said, "Cool, what is it?" And I looked at the whole UI at the time. It looked like Logic. I said, "Yeah, I'm using Logic right now." At the time, I did not, like Logic, because Logic's sound browser, although it looked a lot like FL Studio sound browser, with that sound at the time, I think it still was Logic X, with the sound browser being on the other side. Sorry, on the right of the UI. Anyway, we're talking about a very way faster than Logic. Studio One's UI sound browser was way faster than Logic, and at the time it was faster than Cubase. And Cubase had started taking advantage of having a sound browser, but you had to load all of the sounds into the sound browser, or yeah, the sound browser had to recognize the sounds before the sounds were actually able to be used in the used in Cubase, which made it very inconvenient. And a lot of the times, the sounds were not playing because they were not the right format. But Studio One alleviated that entire middle thing, and it eliminated the lag and all that stuff, meaning that I was able to make beats by just choosing my sounds. I could just use my directional pad and go right down the line of all the sounds, just like you can with FL Studio, and I could play every single sound while the music was playing. I could audition different sounds, and it was able, because of that, I was able to get the sound that I wanted a lot faster, because I could go through 100 snares in a matter of a minute, and just hear what it sounded like. It was instant, boom. So I fell in love with Studio One at that point. After that, it just kept on getting better and better. And then Studio One started using the ARA system. So I'll never forget having Melodyne in a digital audio workstation. And, as a singer, I was like, what is this? It was just the best thing that ever happened to me. I said, you mean to tell me I can make a beat and edit my vocals at the same dang on time? Yeah, that was too real for me. And so, as time went by, the ARA proved to be daggone good for things like Revoice and Melodyne. I'm now at Melodyne 5, the professional version. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And so now Studio One 5.1, which will be debuting in less than 24 hours, I would like to take a look at it because I haven't really used any of the new features that Studio One has to offer because I recently started producing most of my instrumentals with the MPC. And I will, in the next tutorial or so, not tutorial, the next talk or so, I will show you how I use the MPC in standalone mode without the software and synchronize that with Studio One. And because Studio One has such strong the ARA features are so strong, and you can do very good audio editing in Studio One, comping, melodyning, aligning there. You just all I do is set my bar length to the same bar length as the song on the MPC, and I can almost play it simultaneous. I can play it pretty much simultaneously. I even enjoy, the small amount of lag that might come from it. But I do that, and then I mix it all, like I sum it all together using, the not the Avocet, but the egret and the spider to get like a very good processed analog sound. It's pristine, and I clock it all with my Big Ben, and yeah, I just try to push through this really, really, really pristine sound that it's hard to get that kind of quality nowadays with software production. And so I'm very, very proud of what I was able to accomplish. And Studio One made it all possible and made me believe in the power of once again outboard production and and getting back to the roots of things. So anyway, I'm gonna just check this out now. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and please subscribe if you want to see more mayhem coming from me. My name is Eugene again, and here we go.
Dear Sphere members, my name is Gregor Bayerle. I'm software
Hello,
specialist at
Gregor
PreSonus, and we have some very exciting news to share with you today. In 24 hours from now,
Servus.
our brand new Studio One version 5.1 is going live, and you get to see it before everybody else. Now, you might not be aware, but this is actually the first time that we've ever shown a Studio One version ahead
He's got a good setup.
of release. And that's why it's such a big honor for me today to show you all the cool new stuff that we have in version 5.1. I can't wait to see your faces and your reactions when you see what we have in store for you guys.
Cool.
So without any further ado, I'd say let's dive in together. Let's explore the features together in real time and keep up this communication, this direct transparency between the company and you, our members, because that's what.
So Greg, I wonder how long you've been using Studio One. Are you like a new user, or were you there since the beginning, or what is it like? Well, I would like to know what your experience is working at Studio One, and how things even how do things work around there, man? That's cool. It seems like you guys really listen to feedback, so thank you.
What makes Sphere so special. It gives us the platform for more extensive content to share ideas with you before we share them with anybody else. And if you like this kind of format, let us know. And we have for sure more of this in store in the future. The very first thing that I really love is the search function that we now have right here available on the start page. So if I'm searching for a particular song, I don't have to switch to the Finder or the Windows Explorer just to do that. I can just search, Mai Tai, and I find immediately a Mai Tai bass line that I've written 2 years ago where I just remembered that word, and I can immediately open it from here. Another really cool thing that is not as flashy on paper, but really makes a tremendous impact when you're working, is the improved scroll performance, particularly on macOS, thanks to hardware accelerated graphics. So, for example, this song right here, I have to say that
that's smooth.
I felt that scrolling was always a little bit behind Windows on macOS when it came to Studio One, but with the new update 5.1, I'm just so pleased how
Like that wasn't like a big stressor for me. What I found very convenient was that the W key and the E key, in conjunction with Shift, did everything that you needed. I even programmed like some macro keys where I just, did it logic style, hold down Command, and use my directional pad to do the same thing that W, Shift E did, and I was really impressed the whole time. Like I love it. So you guys even added the smoothness to it. Good job.
smooth this is now. It's really
Smooth.
fantastic. And even though this is not a particular feature that makes it sound better, it's just inspiring to have a software that's just so fluent and responding in such a snappy way.
I agree.
Now, if you have a lot of old plugins and you need to maintain compatibility with those, we also have the option now to disable this hardware acceleration. So basically, you would be back on the OpenGL graphics that you had in version 4. So if you're one of these people that have a lot of
With my old cheese grater Mac, I probably won't even try that. I'm pretty sure it'll crash every time.
plugins and you have a session that works very well on version 4 but doesn't open as nicely on version 5, this is definitely a great compatibility option that we have available for you now. We also brought back the high DPI option that you might remember for Windows so that you can work around compatibility issues and make Studio One work with your setup, your plugins, your displays. Another quality of life feature that we now have is track filter and channel filter options with a very nifty little twist. So in this song here, for instance, I have several groups of instruments set up. Most of the time it's drums, bass, vocals, and often enough I'm just working on one of these groups at a time, especially when I'm editing. But seeing just one group of tracks while hiding all the others used to be a little bit of a hassle. Well, no more. Because now we have track filters and channel filters, either here in the track list or the channel list in the console. And this works incredibly well. You can just put your mouse cursor right here, and if I just want to see the vocals, it's as easy as typing vocals.
So I like the way that you guys are refining features that were pretty much there, but just not as straightforward as you guys are making them now. And you guys are really thinking about the more intuitional user. Over the years, you guys have managed to keep this the most less bloated digital audio workstation that I've ever used. So yeah, thanks a lot.
And I only see the vocals right now because it's context sensitive. It also shows the stuff that is in a folder that's called vocals. It's really an intelligent system. And if you take a little bit of time to customize this to your needs so that it fits your song template, it's an absolute killer workflow.
Cool.
And the best part about this is that I can just create macro buttons from this that I can either trigger through keyboard shortcuts or buttons on the macro page, or the Studio One remote on the iPad or Android tablet, which I think is the best method to do this. So check it out.
Yeah.
I can show only the vocals, show only the bass, show only the...
Oh, by the way, if you guys can see this, right next to my streaming setup here, you have that double stand here that you can easily just put a pad on, like such, and put your Studio One pad right there. You can control everything. Up the beanstalk here is a microphone, and so when I'm away from the general keyboard here, I usually use the PreSonus Studio One pad interface in order to keep my mind on whatever I'm gonna sing, and be able to just hit record or whatever, and not have to turn around every time I want to sing something. So yeah, that's a good look too. Great that it's also available for Android as well. Like for Logic, of course, I wish that Logic would come up with a little something that could be used for Android too, but not everybody wants to or has the financial means of having a iPad, and no one should be confined to that. So yeah, good look.
the drums, show everything again. And especially if you work with namings that are kind of consistent in your template, you're gonna have the most powerful tracks management tool at your disposal that you ever had.
Cool.
As I was showing you these track filters and channel filters, you probably also noticed the very different looking track list bar over here. And you find a couple of very, very cool new features here that many people were requesting. For instance, we can open up a secondary ruler now that can be time-based, so you always know exactly how long your mix is currently in either seconds or frames if you're working with video. And we also have a dedicated signature track now, which makes it super easy to see whether there are any key signature changes going on in your song.
Perfect.
What also a lot of people have requested is that you can
That would have helped me a lot through production school.
open up these global tracks, not just from the arrangement, but also right here from the editor. So if you want to see your markers, if you want to see your arranger track, if you want to see your chords or your signature changes directly in the editor itself, all of this is possible right now in Studio One.
Sweet.
Now, the signature track makes a lot of sense, particularly with Notion, and we have some very exciting updates about that. As you know, since version 5.0, it's actually possible to show notes not just in the classic piano view, in the drum view, we can also show them in the score view now.
Wow.
And with version 5.1, we can actually print this, not just in Notion, but now also directly from within Studio One. And here's the product manager of Notion, the brilliant Chris Waffer, to tell you more about it.
I hope this is goodbye for
Hello,
Sibelius.
I'm Chris Swaffer, Product Manager for all things notation at
Are you the one to destroy Sibelius, sir?
PreSonus. In this video, we're going to be looking at the new features added to the score editor in Studio One 5.1, including print, transposition, layout, and changing key with a new signature track. First off, let's talk about print.
Let's talk about it.
There are now two new page views alongside the existing continuous view. The first will show a full score page view of selected tracks in the track list. By default, it'll add your document name as title and composer. You can change these by clicking the text, which will
Not in a million years would I ever have thought that that Notion and Studio One would be the same thing. Like, they did it with Logic, but you know, it's like Logic just kind of threw that in there. I'm not sure how powerful that tool is, but I was never inclined to say use it. But this was something that was curated and maintained and improved over time, and then one day fused with what we have here. And so it lets me know that the R&D has gone into what we now have as, you know, essentially two complete systems in one workstation. So, wow.
take you to the song setup dialog. You can then set a different printed title to your document name.
Cool. In the metadata.
Next to that is the single track page view, which will show you your currently selected track as a single part.
Oh, they're so mean, like V-Drice. Look at that. They even put like a printer. They even put a printer sign over there on the far right. That's mean, guys.
And next
As if.
to that is the print icon.
No!
This button brings up the system print dialog, whether you are on Mac or
Nuts.
Windows.
Absolutely.
And you can
nuts.
hit print or print to PDF, which you can then share electronically.
What? My boy Toby Vice is going to flip.
Now, of course, with print comes a few more requirements for the score editor, from setting instrument transposition to choosing the score's paper size. You can now see two brand new tabs, Track and Layout. Let's look at Track first. Here is where we can change the full track name that will show on the first staff, the track name abbreviation that will show on subsequent staves, and the staff type, in this case grand staff for piano, which has a staff for each hand.
Man.
Under here you can also set the transposition. For example, a trumpet pitched in B flat will sound a B flat when playing a written C.
What's the sound of B flat?
So therefore their part needs to be adjusted one tone up to compensate.
Awesome.
Now, that's all well and good if you know what the transposition is for an instrument and in which direction. And even if you do, there's always a bit of head scratching involved. So we added staff presets that you can apply to a track with one click that automatically sets this all up. So I want to give this part to a sax player.
And better.
So I'm going to apply the alto sax preset. You can see it sets to the correct transposition of E flat, and the printed...
I want to do a video where I go back to Studio One version 1. Just for giggles. One day. I'm going to have to do that.
Notes and key have
I'm getting consistent with this live thing. I think I'm going to keep it live. Live is good.
all shifted accordingly. Now, maybe the player in the session suggests trying this low bit on tenor sax. So you can just apply tenor sax, which will automatically change from E flat to B flat plus 1 octave down, and you can quickly print off another part or make a new PDF without a second thought.
They weren't playing.
These staff presets not only set the correct transposition, but also the expected clef, the staff type, as well as the conventional staff name and name abbreviation. For example, you can set viola here, which will set the clef to alto clef automatically, and then set viola and VLA for the abbreviation. Same here for the double bass, here setting the clef to bass clef, as well as setting the transposition to sounding 1 octave lower than written.
If you import, just a question, if you import, will it try to find the given instrument? Like, will it go into presence and attempt to find the instrument that is typed there? Or just asking. Food for thought.
Of course, when you're actually composing, you might not want to see these notes transposed until you come to print. So just go to Layout and then uncheck Enable Transposition. This will then show the whole score at normal concert pitch in C.
I gotta give that a try.
So now we are here. Let's look
Can I import Sibelius?
at this new Layout tab. At the top, this duplicates the buttons to choose your view. Here are options as to whether to view all tempo changes in the tempo track as metronome marks in your score, or just the initial marking. Then the page layout controls, which are only available when you are using a page view. You can change values of full score or the part independently. Just select the view first. So here we can change page size, orientation between landscape and portrait, page margins, the overall notation size, spacing between staves, spacing between systems, whether to have bar numbers on every bar, just on every system, or none at all, and overall text size and font. One important extra option, which is just available in the parts view, is multi-measure rests. This simply collates any consecutive bar rests into a single multi-measure rest, which is easier to read and count, and of course, saves some paper too. For more in-depth layout control, you can of course just send the score over to Studio One's sister application, Notion, with Song sent to Notion. You'll need to update to Notion 6.8 to transfer these layout and transposition settings with Studio One 5.1. If you have a PreSonus Sphere subscription, Notion is already poised and waiting to be downloaded from your account.
You know, it was so good to see Sphere come along at the subscription price. It was a little bit bittersweet for me because I had been literally buying the software, updating ever since, version 4. And then when 5 came out, it was like, now it's subscription. But you get everything. So that was a great compromise. It's like nice incentive there.
So just one more thing. In 5.1, you can now add key changes mid-song to your Studio One file using the new signature track.
Cool.
This is a new global track where you manage both your time signatures and your key signatures. Let's have a look at how that affects the score view.
They are not playing, are they?
Here's my signature track. I can add a key change at the point of the playback cursor by hitting the plus button or by right-clicking anywhere on the signature track.
Simple and powerful.
As you can see, this is automatically reflected in the notation, and anything you then write in the score view will be spelt correctly. And by that I mean if you change the key to D major, you will then get C sharps, for example, and not D flats. And of course, if you are sending and receiving with Notion, key changes are now also sent. Again, you will need the Notion 6.8 update for this to work. There are also some improvements under the hood. For example, some changes to the notation conversion algorithm in 5.1, which should mean even cleaner and easier to read notation. But there is still much more to come, both for the score editor and for Notion itself. Let us know what you'd like to see next. Drop us a note at the feature request forum at answers.presonus.com or in the comments below. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.
Now's the time for one of the top 3 most requested features of Studio One. I can't tell you how many times I've been asked at conventions during meetups when this feature is finally coming, and the day is here. Retrospective record. If you're not sure why this is a useful feature, imagine this. You're having a jam session, you're not really planning on recording anything, and suddenly out of nowhere, you come up with the most amazing chord progression of your life. And then you go like, no problem, I'm just gonna play that exactly like I just did it. But then you just don't manage to do just that, and it leaves you frustrated. Well, with retrospective record, that can essentially never happen again. Essentially,
I never did understand retrospective record. Like, I have it on the MPC, and I've never really used it. If anybody out there sees this and really would like to double down on my obliviousness to this kind of thing, please post some kind of tutorial on retrospective record for the MPC. But I want to see how he explains it right here. Come on, Gregor.
retrospective record gets rid of the, hey, that was great, do that again situation. It's always there, always available, always ready to go with an independent buffer per track. You can activate it either by clicking on the track inspector icon or through a hotkey. I think retrospective record is best understood by hearing and seeing it. So, allow me to demonstrate.
I like his setup. He's got a pretty good setup, doesn't he?
The show page also got 2 awesome new upgrades in Studio One 5.1. Let's check it out. So we just click on show right here. This is a show I'm currently working on. And let's say I want to...
So do you get like, does one get a chance to pick the time that the retrospective record is happening? Or is it just like, or, you know, like, can you just tap away at a bunch of stuff and then hit that button and then like, boom, it's there. This is cool. This reminds me, I can see this like looking like an Ableton Live kind of thing.
bring an...
I know that happened with Studio One 5, with version 5, but I haven't had a chance to dive into it yet. I've been too busy learning the MPC and how the style of MPC is at the moment, and it looks to be similar to the MPC style workflow as well, kind of like a force or a push looking situation. Let's see what's happening here.
An external instrument into this show, such as my trusty sequential OB6 that you see at the very top of my keyboard tier stand.
Yeah, boy.
Well, that's super easy to do now. You can very simply add your external instrument here in the preferences and external devices. And once you've set it up as a new instrument, you can essentially drag and drop it directly from Studio One's browser. And from here, you can assign it to its own aux channel so that you get MIDI and audio both in one single player, which is highly convenient. Once that's set up, it's as easy as just dragging the OB6 onto your song and it's immediately ready to play.
I'm not about to unhook all my stuff from my MPC and change over back to Studio One. Or am I? I don't know.
And what's really awesome about this is also something that so many people have requested.
Too many choices in production right now. I'm a big fan of my confines. I like my confines.
Time and time again, is that
I confide in just being limited. So many options, so many plugins.
we can assign individual presets and banks for every setlist item. This is really powerful. So let me just make the track height a bit larger, and here you can see the program and bank selector. So let's say for the first track I want to play
That is so
this kind of
cool,
sound that I
man.
have right now. So I can just add a patch, call that maybe Sawyer
Man, they are killing
lead
me.
or something,
Killing me.
and assign that to the first track.
I gotta
Simple as
find out
that.
a way to route that.
Now, if I
through.
want to have something different for the second song, let's just switch to the next bank,
Man, this
perhaps.
Oh, man,
I'm super happy with that for the
I'm
second
super
track.
happy with that.
Let's call that patch
Dude, bro.
Screamer Bass, because
God, they're mean. So mean.
truth, right? And then we set the second setlist item to that. And now, I mean, this is almost magic. I can go to the perform view if I want. And when I'm playing the first track, then I'm on my first OB6 patch. It's actually coming from the hardware. And as soon as we're on the second track, I get the second one immediately. So once this is set up, I don't even have to think about this anymore. If I'm in a live situation, there's already enough input happening, front, side, and center. So I don't need my DAW to contribute to that. But just because I don't want to have a complicated user interface during a live show doesn't mean that I want to make any compromise.
Live, man. Live? Do you know what times we're in? Talking about for studio production. This is absolutely amazing, man.
When it comes to setting it up. Another handy little improvement for the show page is that whenever
Like I got this MPC thing going on here that I like a lot. I would like to be able to integrate all that together now. I want to get all this happening together. And then I want to push it through a real mixer. Like I want to feel like this is like, I want to feel the production. I want to turn the knobs, and get everything going, And the best way that I can do that, that's for another video. I can't wait to reroute some things.
whenever you alter a patch, it's gonna add an asterisk. So right here I have a patch called more synth. So that means I have.
Tell me now, Studio One people, if you've used Studio One 5, can you program into these arranger tracks and stuff? Can you program changes that send MIDI to hardware? So say if the intro is 8 bars, you program MPC to 8 bars, and then after that 8-bar sequence, if pre-chorus is 4 bars, then pre-chorus sends MIDI to MPC, making MPC switch to pre-chorus on MPC, thus completely different sequence. Is that possible that arranger sections coincide with hardware sequencers or groove boxes? Let me know.
Have slightly more volume on this player in this particular song because I felt that the synth part needs a bit of a push here. And as soon as I change that, watch what happens over here. There's an asterisk added to the name of this patch, just so that I'm aware that I actually changed it and I can make it permanent by updating it. Empire and Pedalboard also got a very nice little feature in Studio One 5.1. So let's just add Empire to our show page right here.
Why?
And add a couple of stump boxes, right? Just gate and a compressor. These are new, by the way, which are really great if you have a super distorted sound and you want to tame that a bit. These are absolutely amazing tools to do just that. And yeah, let's just put a fat in front, and then after that I want to have the gate so that I don't get a buzz. And once this is set up, I can also just trade around with the pedal board. So I just gonna pin my Empire right here at the pedal board as well. And now I can just drag and drop my stomp effects back and forth, which is super great. Impact XT and the original Atom, which goes so well together, also got some very exciting new features. One of the most exciting updates about the Atom for me is that we now have scales, so we can really use this to play some amazing progressions.
That's cool.
To do that, simply hold down Shift, and if you're fully counterclockwise, that's chromatic, meaning it's just a 12 seminote scale. But as soon as you turn it, you're going through all the scales, and essentially all the wrong notes or the wrong sounding notes are deactivated. Really and then you can just start jamming.
Not bad.
And whenever you have something that you like, as always, retrospective record. Browser navigation is also a lot easier now with Atom as well. To open up the browser with Atom, that's super easy. You just tap on Setup and tap Browser. But now if you stay in the song setup mode, this is new with version 5.1, you can use the left-right navigation buttons to jump in and out of folders. And then together with up-down navigation, that's just a super quick way to load any kind of preset. So right now I'm in the Dimensional Leads folder from D-Flat 1, our latest synthesizer that's all.
I almost never use this machine. I don't know why. It's just like, I don't know. Maybe I should do something with this a little more. I made about 100 ideas with Studio One and released maybe 10 of those songs. So I have a lot of stuff to review and to go down so that I can actually get a lot of stuff finished. I went to school. I didn't finish a whole lot of things. I was pretty much making everything for the school. And now, God, I gotta get down a long mountain of craziness.
Also free for PreSonus Sphere members, just like everything that we keep adding from PreSonus software.
I'm gonna lose a lot of sleep over this.
And yeah, maybe let's try the noisy strings note effects. That sounds really interesting. And thanks to scale mode and retrospective record, we can just start jamming until we have something that we like and then recall it immediately and go from there.
I like what's going on here. I think we're nearing the end of this.
Let's try this one.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Long video. Seems comprehensive enough to me. I like what I see from this, and I can't wait to download it and to play around with that scale thing there.
Brilliant. I never thought that I would play Atom in this way. With Studio One 5.1, the Atom also has 4 times more encoders and buttons now that can be freely customized to your liking. To customize these controls, go to the mixer, head to the External Devices tab, and open up the Atom with a double click. Previously, you were only able to see one bank of 8 buttons, for instance, but often I wish I would have had more space for more commands, and now I do. And yeah, if I want to assign a couple of pads, it couldn't be easier. You just go to the setup page, hold down Shift, and then you can cycle through the navigation buttons. And that is indeed 4 times more buttons than we had previously. If you want to assign the encoders at the very top, then you simply hold down the bank button and then you cycle through the navigation keys. All these extra buttons that you now have enable you to map things like a previous variation and next variation, which can be incredibly fun when you're improvising on a techno pattern, which I want to show you right now. So let's open up this pattern. And you'll notice that it's not the mono-colored pattern mode that you're used to, but it's actually now reflecting the colors that you find on the Impact XT and thus on the Atom.
Ooh, I have like such a feature request that I've been like wanting so long. Oh my God. Yo, check it out. What if you could just drag and drop the sounds from the right side on your sound browser? What if you could just drag those on to these tracks on that pattern view there? Say kick 1, you could replace that with whatever you want. If say impact or the sampler was activated, or maybe even if any other third-party VST wanted to jump in and coincide with that drag and drop situation, that'd be great. It would make everything really cool, like that'd be so cool, and then be able to use the ADSR for each one of those sounds, perimeters, and tweak it how you want. Wouldn't that be great? Yep.
Making this entire bidirectional synergy even stronger.
How much is the fish? Skibble dive! Skibble danger! I am the real ranger! I don't know. Studio One! Version 5! We are still alive! I'm not just... Shout out to HP Back.
Thank you so much for watching. There's so many more features in 5.1 that we didn't get a chance to touch on, like bypass for clip gain envelopes and so much more. Download it tomorrow, have fun, and see you around here on PreSonus.
See you next time, G-Man. So that was my little review of that. So my main feature request, and or should I say, I think it's really great. I'm going to start off saying what I really like about it. I like the fact that PreSonus is a very forward piece of software, and that the people at PreSonus are very forward thinking, and I own quite a bit of PreSonus gear, and I think that every single time I've gotten nothing but the best quality out of these things. And I think that if there's anything that you don't like about Studio One, it's like the weather in Germany. If you don't like the weather, just wait; it'll change. And I think that also in Alabama, but I think that this is going to just keep on getting better and better, and they're going to keep on implementing more and more changes. It is one of the most competitive digital audio workstations that the market has ever known. And yeah, like I said, I switched from Cubase to Logic, from Logic to Studio One. I have not changed since then. I'm enjoying being able to produce with outboard gear, and I rely on PreSonus right now. Is probably one of the world's greatest vocal editing and tape machines that I've ever known. And yeah, I can't wait to be able to integrate all this stuff again in a realistic way. We'll see how things progress over the next. Yeah, we live in the age of keynotes now. It seems PlayStation 5 did their revealed, and Xbox did their revealed, and Apple did a reveal. Now PreSonus is revealing. Who knows who else is gonna just do like some huge reveal? Everything's just being revealed now. I guess in the age of COVID, yeah, people are just at work a lot more, thinking about innovative things. So cheers to a new renaissance, and I hope to see more of this. It was 2010. Hadn't even had my first hit yet. already playing around with this software right here. And now it's come this far. So I can't wait to get something else. I can't wait to get some new projects going with this and get those vocals out. Yeah, guys, take care and have a great day. It's nice talking to you.